All right. Well, it's 5 after. I suspect we may have a few more people that step in since the Going Deeper service at the 11:25 just ended a couple of minutes ago. I'd like to start out just from a place of an expression of gratitude. For this time, for everybody taking time out to have these conversations, to get together. For you all, for our staff. And I want to talk a little bit about something that happened just this morning in a conversation I had with one of our staff, and the consciousness and the messages that we get to receive. Today was particularly powerful. I participated in the 8 a.m. service, and Rick did that on peace. And then, the 11:25 service, we had that on resilience. And I'm just grateful for these principled messages that we get to receive and actually participate in the Going Deeper sessions and in pieces like this and in a multitude of ways. And I love how all of it seems to dovetail. Rick talked in his piece today about the 5 agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz, and James mentioned in his piece about being very thoughtful about our words, and one of the agreements of the original 4 was being impeccable with your words, and so I just appreciate and it came up in the discussion too about what we choose to bring in, and that this community provides such principled messaging to me and to us every day. I'm really grateful for it. One of the big ideas that came out of today for me was this piece about I have enough time. I think everybody on this call, we've all got lots of life that's happening for us right now, and there can be that tendency to feel like there's not enough time for everything, but we can take those few minutes out. And one of the pieces that I've enjoyed and I've shared with a number of people, and Tammy doesn't even know I'm going to do this plug right now, but she has a meditation that she does on a podcast. It's called Om and Go. And she's the optimistic meditator and provides those messages. And it's one of those things that's emanated from our community that I think is so powerful, and that we come into these ideas and then we find ways to express them outward. And that's such a powerful vision and activity for us that I just want to affirm that. I'm so grateful for that. I just want to give a real boost to our staff. And I had a conversation with Ron this morning, Ron Sherwin, our new CFO, COO, who initially came on just as a finance director and has kind of been expanded in his role because he had amazing experience at 3M for many years. And his he still has a little bit of the outsider perspective since he's new, and how he views our staff and what they're doing, what we are doing on a daily basis. He is just so amazed and impressed, and that what manifests from the activity. And so I just really appreciated that perspective this morning when I called and had a conversation with him to kind of get a last minute update on where we were with some of the financial pieces and some other pieces. And I'm grateful for that. So I think I'll go ahead and head into it. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation like I did last time. I would like to keep it a little bit shorter today, but I will touch on 4 main areas. One, talk about financial position, give an update on our interim ministry, as well as talk about our senior minister search. And then lastly, I'll discuss a little bit of our reopening processes and what's happening around that. When I spoke with Ron this morning, I asked him, with regard to just this most recent week, kind of where we were with cash flow position and so forth. And one of the things that we did do, the board acted just recently to go ahead and release the last chunk of the PPP funds. We had those in the Prosperity Bank account, and we elected to move that into our general account so that we can utilize those funds. But those represent really the majority of our cash reserves at this point. We have some additional ones, So it's not all of it. But at our current income rate, we continue to expend more than we're bringing in. We're bringing in right now about $11,000 to $12,000 a week, and that's below a sustainable level by a good measure, probably by a good $7,000 a week, to be able to continue to operate the way we operate, doing what we're doing. And so we've got some cash that's going to carry us forward, and that's what the PPP funds were there for, and we're using them as they were intended. And we're positioning ourselves as best we can to have those be reimbursed. We have an expectancy of a high, well, when I say reimbursed, forgiven, because it's a grant loan and you can get a portion of that as grant. And so we're being very careful in how we apply for that to maximize the grant component of that. We have a number of things that are upcoming that we feel will help with our cash position, and those include the 25th anniversary activities. And maybe some of you heard as we were coming on, Ellen was talking through some of those pieces that we've got going on. There's going to be the concerts and the walking tour, and there are a number of pieces that comprise that, and there'll be financial benefit from those activities. We also have our year-end giving program that we're going to be firing up, and you'll be hearing more about that shortly as well too. And so we feel these things will contribute to our cash flows as we move in, as well as some of these other elements that I'm going to be talking about with regard to ministry. As I told everybody last month, we had been in dialogue with Unity Worldwide Ministries in our search for an interim minister, with Raz getting sick and not being able to complete his obligation. We've been working with our laity and LUTs and guest speakers as far as delivering the Sunday message, but we do know we want to have an interim minister while we continue our search for a new senior minister. And so we went back to UWM and asked them to search the ranks. And I had a conversation with Doug Doerr a little over a week ago, and he said, I think I've got somebody for you. And so there was an initial call, and the board has been in discussion, and we actually have an appointment 5 o'clock this evening to have an initial conversation with this potential candidate as kind of the pre-vetting process. Before we present anybody to the congregation, we want to do our homework and make sure that we feel like this person is a good fit and they're qualified and so forth and so on, and it feels like the right move. And then there'll be an opportunity for the congregation to hear them deliver a message and give us their feedback before we make any decision to move forward. So I'm excited about that. Doug knows us very well over at UWM, and as we've been walking through this journey with them for a while, and so I think he hopefully has found us somebody that's going to be a really good fit. In addition, our congregation has formed 3 teams to find a new senior minister. We have the candidating team, the prayer and consciousness team, as well as the marketing and promotion team. There were 24 people that are included in those 3 teams that have been working on a number of different efforts in the search. The progress that's been made so far is our prayer and consciousness team has put together an affirmative prayer that we can use around this search. In addition, they're holding consciousness for us and also providing prayer partnerships with myself and members of the search team as we move through this process to keep us centered as we continue this walk. The marketing and promotion team, they're really kind of gearing up now that we have a package that's been put together. The candidating team has uploaded the position to the UWM website, and we're working with the UWM staff. And currently we've received a number of applications. And so the candidating team is in the process of the initial reviews of those applications, and we'll continue to keep you updated as we make progress through that process. The last piece that I wanted to touch on a little bit was the live reopening piece, and we're we're working in conjunction with the reopening team on establishing not only the policies and procedures, but the opportunities for us to be able to take advantage and come together on the campus. So far, we've had a number of Sundays now where we've had the pavilion open for live streaming. And the people I've talked to that have attended that have really enjoyed being able to just be in the physical presence of each other and make those connections. And we have had a number of special services and events out there, and we'll continue to do so. And then things that are coming up, like as part of the 25th anniversary, we've got the walking tour. And so there are ways to engage in the campus and be there on site. We have the Halloween parade. There's staff continues to be creative and come up with great ways to show up and participate and be together in community and contribute and just enjoy the amazing campus and facilities that we have. And so those are really the key pieces that I wanted to talk about today.